Good afternoon. This is Pat Walker at MissionWinners.com. I was talking a lot in the VIP site about how to find stocks, and everybody wants to know that. I've been an IBD meetup co-leader for 10 years, and one of the things I really love to do is to teach this, to explain it to you, so that you are not held hostage to anybody else. You can do these things on your own. Well, there's an investing maxim, and I learned this from Investors Daily. Okay, I got to tell you that. Bill O'Neill, leading groups, leading stocks. About 50% of a stock price's movement is related to the industry group that it's in. So what do? I look for leading groups or groups that are coming out of bases, and then I try to find leading stocks. So we're going to show you something. This is a great trick. This is XLE. You can just see it was going sideways through here. Finally lifted off right here on this day, off to the races. We're going to take it a step further. Here's OIH. You can see OIH picked up through here. Was going sideways and it starts to pick up. You can say, well, that's really nice. What can I do with this information? Again, about 50% of a stock price's movement is related to the industry group that it's in or the sector that it's in. Then there's another variable to consider. The vast majority, and this is my research, the vast majority of stocks that are super stocks that make great moves fast have either, and you might want to write this down, last quarter's earnings up 40% or higher, or the average of the last 2 quarters sales up 45% or higher. So again, 40% earnings last quarter, or or the average of the last 2 quarters sales up 45% or higher. So you're going through and you're looking at the ETFs and you see these ETFs starting to go, they started to pick up here, but they were going sideways, both of them. So then we start to look at the stocks. Check this out. EOG. Look at this simple downward sloping trend line right here. You see that? It's just simple. Down right through here, and it lifts off on a pickup in volume. Right here, taken out, we'll call it, say, around 102 to 103 a share. That's what we're looking for on a pickup in volume. See the volume picking up? Simple. That's what we're looking for. You looked at the ETFs, you saw them picking up or starting to pick up, the stock goes too. But here's the key point. Look at the earnings last quarter. Down here, a 148% increase in earnings. The average right here, good revenue growth, but it meets the minimum threshold of at least 40% earnings growth last quarter. Great estimates going forward. You see that over there on MarketSmith? That's beautiful. That's what we want to see. So there's EOG. That was on the key list before it broke out, and it's made a good move. There's number 1. Number 2, Pioneer Natural Resources. Great group, just going sideways. You can see where it starts to pick up right here, and it goes up nicely. PXD. But here's the key point again. Look at the earnings growth last quarter. Look at the earnings growth the previous quarter. It was up more than 40%. Remember that. Greater than 40%. And somebody could say, oh, I might miss something. I don't really care. I'm trying to stack the deck in my favor and try to find things given historical precedent that worked in the past. That's what we're doing. We don't reinvent the wheel. We get in line with what is. So here's 2 now. Over 40%. Here's number 3. And again, we looked at the ETFs first and we say, oh man, if they'll start to break out, maybe we could find some stocks. You run the screens and these come up. These all came up. By the way, every one of these, and I can document it, was on the key list before they broke out. Concho has a downward sloping trend line, picks up on increasing volume. Last quarter's earnings greater than 40%. You can say, oh, it was only 41. It was over 40. Minimum thresholds, 40%. By the way, that's coming through from 31 years of doing this. That's what I'm tearing apart and looking into. Concho, look at the nice move this thing's made. 10 points. 10 points plus in a short period of time. 10 points plus in 4 days, to tell you the truth. Fang. Fang was written up, by the way, in Investors Business Daily twice. Look at this nice little shelf here. You see that? Look at the volume down here that came into it. And you can say, well, yeah, Pat, but what about the earnings? Go down here on MarketSmith and look. Last quarter's earnings, right here, 146% down on the bottom. You see that? Previous quarter, 381%. Look at the estimates over here on the left. Minimum 40% earnings growth. It made the cut. And you know what, folks? That's a nice move there. You buy that stock at around 113.5. You're up right now 16 points plus. 16 points plus. There you go. Still in it. Why sell? It's trending. Let it work. The next one, EC. Look at the earnings. Check this out. 325%. It beats that minimum 40%. We own this at $12.37 a share right there. Why? Clean and sloping down trend line, and it lifted through. Good volume, 1237 to 17 or 1692. You can say, well, gosh, Pat, that's only, I don't know, 5 points, 4.5 points. What's the big deal? 4.5 on 1230, do the math, in a relatively short period of time. And here's the beauty of it, folks. You've never been tested. It's just walking up the line. You let it work. That's the last one. I wanted to share that with you. One of the things we do at missionwinners.com is we teach people how to fish. You teach people how to fish. Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. My goal is this, teach you to fish. So now we have a couple of key constraints. What are they? Look at the ETFs. Look at the ETFs that are performing well. Look at the ETFs that might break out. If you see a sector that looks good, whether it be solar or energy, then you go in and you make your screens and say, I think I'm going to look for stocks that last quarter's earnings were up at least 40% or higher. There you go. By the way, I'll take it a step further. I'm going to show you something here really cool. We're going to go back here, folks. Other constraints. They're above the 50-day. Other constraints. They're within 10% of 52-week highs. Other constraints. They're not low-price stocks. Other constraints. They do volume. There you go, folks. There's a recipe for cake. A good cake. EOG. PXD above the 50-day. Near highs. Concho above the 50-day. Near highs. Fang above the 50-day. Near highs. EC above the 50-day. Near highs. You can say, you gosh, Pat, you sound pretty militaristic on this. No, it's just that I think it's important that we have stringent discipline. I wanted to share that with you. It's what we do, and I hope this helps you. This video goes to everybody. My goal is this. I just want to help people. That's what I'm after. I wish somebody had shown me this stuff years ago when I was doing this, but hey, you know what? You got to learn and, you know, hopefully help somebody else. So take care, have a good night, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. And I thank you.